Hey, Joyful Journeyer. Welcome back. I'm Anita Adams, your host. And today I've decided I'm going to read another chapter from my book, Whispers of the Soul. I'm going to read a chapter on forgiveness. Forgiveness has been on my mind a lot lately. Forgiveness of others and forgiveness of ourselves. And it's forgiveness is a choice. That's the name of the chapter. Forgiveness is a choice. Finding freedom in letting go. If you've listened to some of my other episodes where I've read chapters from my book, or maybe you've even read my book, you will understand that every chapter begins with a short story. And after the story, I go into some of the lessons that I've learned over the years or from this particular experience of the story that I share. So without any further ado, let's dive into the reading from chapter 30 of Whispers of the Soul. Come on. The covers are pulled over my head. The morning light is streaming through the half-closed blinds, but I refuse to get up and face the world. To face Tom. The pain I see in his eyes makes the pain I feel in my heart unbearable. Sadness sits heavily on my chest this morning, every morning, as if the blankets that cover me are weighted with cast iron chains. Sadness for the loss of what we once had. Sadness for the future that seems to hold no more beautiful promises. Sadness for the pain I have caused. The days pass, turning into weeks, which turn into months, and that sadness lingers. The mornings are particularly hard. If I could, I would stay curled under those heavy covers all day. Avoidance and punishment together in one cold bed. My children need me, though. My business needs me. Tom doesn't need me. He's uncertain if he even wants me. I'm uncertain about what I want, too. But we are still in this. Both of us are still working our way through this tunnel of pain. Talking, crying, listening, crying some more. The talking and sharing about what we are feeling has gotten easier. We are talking about what led to the choices we've made that have hurt our relationship. And we are talking about what we need from each other to continue. Forgiveness needs to happen. Will it, though? Can we let go and move on? Will a day ever come when the dark shadow of the past isn't hanging over us like an ominous cloud threatening to storm? It feels like we've been living under that cloud for so long. Rays of sun break through every once in a while, and I feel the warmth of it on my face and in my heart. Then the wind blows a memory our way, and that moment in the sun disappears as another cloud rolls in and casts cold shadow. I feel in my heart that we can weather this storm, though. Although there is so much uncertainty about our future, there is also an understanding that we both want this to work, and we are both willing to do the work. What is needed is more time. I can do that. And I think Tom is willing to give us time too. Time to heal. Time to forgive each other. And time to forgive ourselves. Forgiveness does take time. And that journey starts by making the conscious choice to forgive. Forgiveness is also a powerful choice. Forgiving yourself and others is what allows you to grow. It allows you to get unstuck and move forward. And forgiveness is one of the biggest acts of love. Thankfully, Tom and I were able to forgive each other and forgive ourselves for the choices we made that hurt our relationship. It took time and a lot of inward looking and asking, who am I? What do I want? And why does it matter? The clarity that came from asking these questions is what allowed us to let go of the past and forgive. It's important to recognize that letting go and forgiving does not mean forgetting. I will never forget my destructive behaviors that just about tore my marriage apart, nor will I forget that as a teenager I shoplifted, or that I once spanked my son. I will remember all of these things and many other poor choices I've made over the years and use them to guide me in making better choices. In the same way that I will not forget my poor choices, I will not forget the behavior of someone who harmed me just because I forgave them. Forgiveness does not mean they are allowed to keep harming you, nor does it mean that you absolve them of their wrongdoings. It also doesn't mean you condone their actions. They remain accountable for that. Forgiveness simply means that you have let go of your anger towards that person for what they have done in the past. For a very long time, I blamed my stepdad for making me feel stupid and worthless, and for crippling my confidence. I was angry at him for beating me up emotionally instead of lifting me up as a parent should. Fortunately, I had a mother who lavished me with love and attention. She helped me to believe in myself enough to eventually work my way out of the dark cave I blamed my stepdad for putting me in. Things improved between me and my stepdad after I moved out when I was 20. A kinder, more caring relationship emerged. Eventually, so did forgiveness. And love between us began to grow. Have you heard the expression, hurt people hurt people? Understanding this truth certainly helped me forgive my stepdad for his poor behavior. He didn't have a very happy childhood, and I believe now that he was doing the best he could with what he had. If you are holding on to your anger and old stories of the past, you are living in the past. Forgiveness allows you to move out of the past and get present to the now. Being in the now is where you must be to more easily connect with your soul, to connect with God, the universe. It's being in the present where you better understand who you are, what you want, and why it's important to you. And it's also where you find your greatest joy. When you let go of the past and stop worrying about the future, then you can create the life you want. Interestingly, your worries about the future are often connected to those same old stories of the past. In a nutshell, your stories keep you trapped, and forgiveness is the key to letting them go and setting yourself free. Forgiving yourself is often harder to do than forgiving others. If self-forgiveness is something you've struggled with, I recommend connecting with your inner child. Children are such remarkable beings with the greatest capacity for love and forgiveness. Try this exercise. Imagine yourself as a young child. Go back to a fond memory when you were happy, feeling loved, and possessed an innocence that radiated outward. Maybe you were 4 or 5 years old, 7 at the oldest. Can you see this child in your mind's eye? This child who is still innocent and full of love? Call upon that child often and speak to them as you would speak to any child you care about, with love, kindness, and acceptance. Be intentional with your words and listen to what that child has to say to you. This exercise may be triggering, so I want to share a personal experience that may help. The first time I was guided to connect with my inner child, I was in a confidence building workshop when I was in my early 20s, and it triggered me. I broke down into tears, well, more like sobs. And the facilitator, who was woefully unprepared for someone who couldn't stop crying, didn't know what to do. It was a horrible and embarrassing experience all around that didn't serve to boost my confidence at all. My distress stemmed from feeling like a disappointment to that child self that I conjured up. In my mind's eye, I saw a little girl that I couldn't be there for because I didn't have the self-love I needed to give to her. Now, here's an interesting thing that I learned many years after that workshop. Our inner child is already full of love, brimming with love, in fact. We are born with this love. It is our natural state of being. That child understands what we have sometimes forgotten. Sometimes we need to allow ourselves to simply receive that love from our inner child. When you evoke an image of your inner child, first speak to that child with love and compassion, and then allow that child to speak to you. Open your heart and let the love that comes from that child to flow. When you allow yourself to be open to receiving love from your inner child, that child will guide you back to being a kinder, more compassionate person with yourself. You'll find it easier to forgive yourself for the things you haven't been able to let go of. What I'm asking you to do is to build a relationship with your inner child. That relationship, like any good relationship, is about giving and receiving. When you nurture it, you will deepen your love for yourself. With that deepened love, you'll more easily be able to let go of those old stories and forgive yourself for the things you are holding on to. A beautiful way to develop this relationship is to invite your inner child to join you the next time you go for a nature walk. Play a little together. Walk on fallen logs. Skip rocks over a lake. Hop or skip down a path. Climb a tree. Pick up a stick and write your name in the dirt with a big heart next to it. These are just some fun ideas to help you connect with that inner child who loves you. Your inner child doesn't hold grudges, and that child is so keen to forgive and move on and play some more. Forgiveness is a form of compassion, and the world needs more kindness and compassion than ever. What we might not think about is how to be kind and compassionate with ourselves. When we start by being compassionate with ourselves, we move our world to reflect that kindness. At the end of that chapter, and at the end of every chapter, I list the key takeaways and some exercises. And I want to encourage you with some of these exercises. So the first exercise that I would love you to do, and grab a pen and paper, your journal, and reflect on this, and just think about what stories of the past are you holding on to? What stories are you holding on to? Who do you need to forgive? Remember that forgiving is not forgetting, condoning behavior, or absolving it. It's letting go of the anger that may be keeping you stuck. So reflect on what are the stories that you are holding on to, and reflect on who you need to forgive, yourself included. And then the second part of this is to do the exercise of connecting with your inner child. Remember that that inner child is absolutely brimming with love and just wants to play. So connect with that inner child and listen. Listen to that child who wants to share their love with you. Joyful Journeyer, thank you so much for tuning in today. I think we all need to forgive ourselves a little more, which is why I feel so called to share that story with you today. If you want to dive into some of the work I'm doing, and you haven't already picked up a copy of Whispers of the Soul, this is a great place to start. And I'm always excited to connect with you. Reach out to me. My contact information is in the show notes. And if you're looking to go deeper with the work, I would love to connect with you and talk to you about some of my programs that I offer. All right, Joyful Journeyer, you have a wonderful day, and we'll connect with you next time. Bye for now.